Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Designs here. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Firstly, I must apologise for the amount of time it's taken me to come back and film the final videos relating to the Paper Pumpkin Box of Sunshine kit. There's been no particular reason, I have to say, apart from life sometimes gets very busy and gets in the way, and you turn around and there's another fortnight or 3 weeks has gone by. Consistency, I have to say, is something that I'm continually trying to improve on and work on. I'm making no promises, but today, as the 1st of October, we start our new Stamping Up year, so that is certainly something I'm going to try and be a bit better at for our coming new year. Anyway, the good news is that the kit is still available, albeit that it is selling out quite fast. So if you haven't treated yourself to one of these kits yet and you actually think you would like one, then please don't leave it very much longer, because you could well find that you are disappointed and you've missed out. We went through on my previous videos all the different card designs, so there's 8 different cards within the kit. So that was the first design, that's the second one, that's the third, and that is the fourth. And you also have the coordinating envelopes with which to send your cards out. You also receive a really nice stamp set, which I can see the sentiments of this will be very useful for the times ahead, because it's not just something that relates to purely to this kit. So you've got some nice sentiments like a little something to brighten your day, hello, you are loved, sending sunshine, and smile. So, and there's a nice little sun here and a little background stamp really there. So that has got a life way beyond the kit. There's also within the kit a number of elements that are left over, and the idea is that you can use them to pretty up the box, and also beyond that there are a number of elements left that you can make other things with. The concept behind the Box of Sunshine, if you haven't seen my previous videos, it was collaborated on with Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, and the idea behind a Box of Sunshine is that you fill it with little gifts of yellow and orange in colour, so basically the colours of sunshine, and you fill it up and you send it off to a friend or a loved one. So the idea behind this was that you could, having made the cards up, you could use this box, fill it up with little gifts, and you have this nice label that you can stick over the middle bit there. You've got some sticky elements of the fruit and the sunshine that you can use to put on your box. You also, within the box, had all the bits and pieces came wrapped in this piece of dry tissue paper. I've got cooking on the brain, sorry. Tissue paper, and you can use that to wrap up your little gifts, or just wrap up the whole thing inside and just make your parcel look very pretty. I suppose most of the time I have a practical mind, and my mind is telling me that if I make this box really pretty and I send it off in the post, then in effect, hello Ollie, in effect I'm going to have to sort of stick this down. I'm going to have to put sellotape along here. I'm going to finish up with the post office putting one of their labels on there, and the box is going to look anything but pretty when the recipient gets it. So my thoughts on this is that I would stick the label on there, I would pretty up the box. I could either add some stamps on here or just simply put the name of your recipient on there, but then I personally would then just put this in one of the post envelopes, you know, those big post bags you can get, or wrap it in brown paper and post it that way. That way the box does stand a fighting chance of actually getting to your recipient and still looking very attractive. So that is the concept behind that. I've got to say any plans of doing that at the moment, but I'll keep that with the box to use at a later date. In addition to the sticky label and the sticky elements, there was lots of the other embellishments left over. So this is basically, having made all these cards up, I've got the thin strips of the black and white polka dot, and I've got a number of those, and then I've got a couple of the thicker labels or sticky sheets of the black and white polka dot. So they will work on cards at a later date. I've also got some lemons left, a couple of the suns cutouts, and these big pineapples. So we're going to use the lemon and a pineapple and the sun in some projects going forward. I've also got one of these labels left which came off one of the cards. So this card, and I have one of these left which I'm going to use on one of my cards. There should have been two, but I'm afraid I made a mess of one of them, so such is life. But as you can see, this for £20 there is an awful lot in this kit. So apart from getting 8 cards, you're going to have an awful lot of other things left over to add to other projects. And I know here in the UK we are sort of heading quite quickly into autumn and winter, but I think just with everything that's going on, this concept of sending sunshine, the thought of something bright and happy, I think has got a longevity that perhaps it wouldn't normally have. Perhaps we would be thinking more about the seasons more, but I just think we all just need a bit of cheer in our lives. So I do think this is a lovely kit, and all the leftover bits and pieces will be very nice to put together on cards. I have got some Stampin' Dimensionals and glue dots left over. I have to say I'm not sure whether you'd have any of them left over, because I basically used what I would normally use. So like with the lemon, I just thought I'm going to stick big Stampin' Dimensionals on that. So I'm not saying you'd have any of those left if you've just been using these solely to put your cards together, but I was certainly over generous with my sequins that came with the kit, and I've still got a number of those left as well. So that, I think, is enough said about that. So on this one I'm going to use a lemon. I've got a spare lemon on here, so I'm just going to pop that out. I'm just going to put the rest of this back in my box so that it doesn't get damaged. Some cat doesn't think it's a plaything. This kind of happens quite often in our house. So what we're going to do with our first video is I'm just going to make up one of these little boxes, and these are the little mini paper pumpkin boxes which you can find in the catalogue. They are £7 for 10, and they're actually food safe. Now, I've got my bits and pieces in here for my next project, so but it just gives you an idea of the box. Now I've seen these done by other demos, and they've actually filled this with 4 little greetings cards to give as gifts for people to then send those cards out to family and friends. So that's a lovely idea, but you can fill it with some bits and pieces of food, or little bits and pieces of any little gift really. Candles I think would probably fit in there, some of the bath fizzing things, all sorts of things. Dare I say, in this day and age, it would make a really good gift box for a face mask. Such is life these days that I'm finding myself looking through the internet and thinking, oh, that's a really pretty face mask. It used to be pairs of shoes and things, but yeah, in these times it's something that's very practical, and that would really make a nice gift box. Funny enough, some friends of ours bought us each one the other day. Mine had a sort of a pretty tabby cat on and a bright pink background colour, so it was very me. And yeah, the really great gift. So yeah, why not? We could start a thing and use these boxes to send out face masks to our friends. So they come flat packed, which is always good. Very easy to put together. But what we're going to do first is decorate it, and the way I've done that is a very expensive professional tool, a doily. Now, back in the day when we entertained people, I always tend to, if I'm honest, or 99% of the time, I always do buffet type things. That way I can't mess it up, and I'm working on the basis there's always something that somebody's going to like. I find the whole 3-course meal all a little bit stressful. So I only really do that for sort of people that I know won't hold it against me. But yeah, I've always got a packet or two of these in my cupboard because it sort of pretties up the plates, doesn't it? And but I have no use for them at the moment. But yes, actually they work really well as a mask to decorate my mini paper pumpkin boxes. I know that there are a variety, and you will find some that've got a big area in the middle that hasn't got any decoration. That will still work. You'll just finish up having to move it around a bit more. With this, most of this will cover. You'll get the effect of the ink going through that. The other thing you could use are the embossing paste masks. So I have to be honest, I've not used embossing paste for some time. So the masks I've actually got are currently they're not current masks, but you will find them on page 146 of the catalogue, and they are £5.50 for 4 different designs. There is one there that looks quite similar to this. Funny enough, I was watching a video the other day and somebody using the embossing paste, and I was thinking, oh, I really should get that again. I think mine dried out because it is very effective. But you know what? That's a video for another day. But that would work, and I tried that earlier, so that's the effect you would get using a mask. But I have to say the doily works a treat. I'm just going to get my lemon out of the way before I plaster that in ink. Now, Bumblebee didn't actually feature as a colour in the kit, but it kind of worked, I thought, with the box and with the lemon. It just made the lemon stand out more. Sponge Brayers, which is what we're going to use, they are, got it written down somewhere, £7.50, and you get 4 sponges and 2 handles. Now, I did think when I was about to start the project for this that I'd got a clean one. As it turned out, I didn't. But my last one had a tiny bit of blue on it. Hence, if you notice, when you put blue and yellow together, you get green, don't you? So I've got a green tinge going through here, which I could. Apologies, my tablet has cut out. So as I was saying, the blue with the yellow gave me this a green tinge, which unfortunately I don't think I can replicate again, but it worked really well with the green and the yellow of the lemon. Really? Seriously? Yes, I know you might want to be my assistant director, but just not now. There's a good boy. That was Timmy. You're not going to do that again, are you? One of those moods, aren't you, today? So we need to sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. To protect your work surface or your grid paper or whatever, I would recommend one of these sort of very cheap food balls that you can buy in the shops. So I've had this for crafting for a number of years. Obviously bearing in mind that if you're going to put food in here, we do need to protect this, so perhaps some paper or something under there, but I'm not using this for food. So that's all good. So I've got my Bumblebee, and all I'm going to do is literally run my sponge brayer over my doily, just keeping it flat with my other hand. So I'm not promising that you won't get a little bit of mess on your hands, but hopefully the rest of your workstation will stay nice and clean, ready for the next bit of crafting. Now what I've not done with this, and which I should do, is try and keep your brayer within the doily, because otherwise you're going to lose the design and you're going to get some smudging of your ink, which will be obvious when I lift the doily up. It's a problem when you've got one eye on what the cat might do, and if it's not one, it's one of the others. So I'm just going to take my hand over here. Now you could use post-it notes. I'm not quite sure why I didn't think of that sooner, but you could do. Sounds like a plan for the next time I do this. So I'm just covering over basically the surface of the doily. And you can lift that up. You see I've got some areas here which ideally I don't want. But what can I say, this is live. So now I'm just going to pick up some of the areas that I haven't got some ink on. And yes, they will overlap, but all that's going to do is just give you just a slightly different design. There's nothing technical about this whatsoever. And if you were using one of the doilies where the middle is... So I'm going to try again. You can tell I've not done this for a while, and I've actually found the reason why my tablet is playing up, because I hadn't actually got rid of one of my longer videos from way back. So I've just gone to download that, try and sort everything out, and I've come back to find that I've had a little helper on my desk. So I now have a bit of a tattered doily. Fortunately I had put the lid on my ink and put the sponge brayer to one side. All I can say, Ollie, is that it's a good job Bumblebee ink coordinates with your coat, isn't it? And it's also a really good job that it dries very, very quickly. Seriously. So what can I say? It can only get better. Or maybe not, because I've now got Marley about to join me. So I'm just going to finish this off while everything tries to work itself against me. I'm now working with tattered equipment, Oliver. But you don't look remotely bothered. So I'm getting a slight difference in my colours by putting more pressure as I use my sponge brayer. So we needed to meet the whole family, did we? Attempt to finish this off. Marley, everybody. I'm not quite sure how much of him you can see. So I should just give up crafting, shall I? Should I give up crafting? We'll just make animal videos. What do you think? So there we go, that will do. I'm sure you've got the idea. I mean, it's not perfect, but hopefully that has given you a bit of an idea with everything else that is going on. Yes, you look very, very cute. I don't think anybody can actually see you though. Get that out the way. So let's put the ink away. I wish I could turn this round. Everybody see your little face. I don't know what position you're going to have. I don't know. Producer, perhaps. So you can see that the box is all the lines within the box. I can't even think what the word is. Scored, that's the word I'm looking for. Yes, that's a bow, Marley even. So just bend all your corners up and get your box so it's ready to put together. So this bit comes up here, and we want to fold, hoping you're getting this, we want to fold these two into here, and then this side comes over and it just clips into place like so. It's very much like the little mini pizza boxes. So again, we're folding this in here and then just taking the side over, and that will then clip into place, and that is basically the box put together. And then it fits in the corners like so, and you have your sealed box. And to that we are going to add a lemon, if I can find it. There we are, that's my lemon. Now I actually think it would be a very good plan if you left. So when I get the ribbon out, I think you're going to want to play with it, aren't you? Come on. No, come on. Yes, you can purr all you like, and you can knock the camera, but you're not staying. So I've got my lemon and I've got my little green leaves, and I'm just going to put some adhesive there at the end of the lemon. I'm using this with the little gold spots as my base of the lemon and that as my top, so I'm going to stick my leaves just on the top there, so I've got my lemon complete. And then I'm going to put some Stampin' dimensionals just on the top, or on the base rather, of my lemon. Half of one there and half of one there on the leaves. Put that there. Then I'm going to change, on this one I've got Sending Sunshine, and on this one I've used the stamp set again from the kit, but I've used the A Little Something to Brighten Your Day there. And all I've done is I've heat embossed that in gold embossing powder even, onto some Whisper White, and I've cut that out using one of my layering ovals, my layering oval dies. You could use a punch if you haven't got a big shot. And then just to make that stand out a little bit more, I've got some gold foil, which again I've cut out with one of the crinkle edged layering ovals. No surprise there, because we all know it's one of my favourite die sets for just actually adding sentiments to. I just think it really, it's been one of the, you know, how you buy things and you don't use them perhaps to their full, that it's been worth every penny that it cost me. I've used it so much. So I'm just going to centralise that on there. You're not going to have a lot of your gold edge showing, but you just want to make sure you've got a bit of gold round, showing around the whole of the oval. It is a tight fit, so don't push it down too tightly, too firmly, because you won't get it off. By just gently holding it at one end, you're giving yourself a little bit of wiggle room until you're happy, and that will do. So at the moment, I keep saying this, I bought a large supply of snail, but we do have a new alternative to snail in the catalogue, which I will have to be getting soon, I have to say, but I love my snail, so I'm sticking with it for as long as I possibly can. So before I stick these down, I'm just going to place these over here So where it went slightly awry, you can be a little bit creative and just cover that up. So just going to now take the backing off of the Stampin' dimensionals. I found that by sticking the lemon leaves to the actual lemon, it just kept the whole thing together rather than trying to make it put them together as a separate element. Just made life a bit easier for me. So I'm just going to stick my lemon and stick it in the different direction to my previous box. Stick my lemon there, and then just take the backing off of these Stampin' dimensionals. Put that up there, and then I'm going to do something that I'm probably going to regret, but I'm going to add a bow to that. Now I'm using this gingham ribbon, which is Bumblebee in colour, which was another reason why I quite like the idea of using Bumblebee for my box. I'm just going to cut myself an amount of that ribbon off. Live on camera, I'm going to attempt to tie a bow. I have to say this was a really nice ribbon to work with, even for somebody like me who is absolutely rubbish at tying bows. I have to say I think I've been somewhat over generous there. So what I might do is work with one end, and then I'll have a bit left over that I can use on something else. Waste not, want not, as they say. Now I'm sure anyone watching this will all be sitting there going, seriously woman, that is not the way you tie a bow, but it's kind of as good as it gets for me. Bows and me don't really work, but I've at least found another ribbon that I'm not doing too badly with. Having said that, the other one on my sample went slightly better than this. So there we go. But you get the gist, don't you? Yeah, that will do. That will do. So we will stick that on with a glue dot. Good job I've got some of these left because I've forgotten to bring mine in. Stick that on there. You ever wish you'd not started something? In all seriousness. Yeah, frequently. Whenever I do a video, I quite often wish that. But you get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to tidy the ends up there. And I have a bow. Now I've got to say I would use a normal glue dot, and that's what I will do when I finish filming. They are just a bit thicker, and that will hold that ribbon in place, and I'd probably use a couple of those. But there we are, we got there. So just a little idea of how we can use the leftovers from the kit to brighten somebody's day and send them a little gift in the post, or indeed hand it to them, albeit at a social distancing amount of space. So that is it for this video. I'm going to come back with another idea, which is basically going to involve just sticking some cardboard onto the box and using one of the other elements. So, but it's also got an interesting heat embossing project, which I will share with you as well. So thank you so much for joining me. If by any stretch of the imagination you've enjoyed this video, then I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Give me the encouragement to go forward. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be brilliant. I would really appreciate that as well. As I said, the kit is still available, but it is selling fast, so if it is something you want, then do please put your order in sooner rather than later. My usual links to my blog, my shop, etc. will be on the front of the video. But thank you so much for sticking with me to the end, for joining me today, and I will see you again very soon. But until then, do take care. So it's bye from me and bye from the various furry friends that have joined us today. Bye bye.